Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, August 20th. I always have to look at the calendar to double check and make sure it's the day I think it is. I hope everybody is having a beautiful start to their day, their week, and I appreciate y'all joining me so early. Uh, yeah, the cat is running around and screaming. She's so silly. She's already eaten, but she's like, Mom, you're upstairs. Why are you upstairs? She's so vocal, but I love her so much. My life would be very boring without that cat, that's for sure. So I have some. Oh, here she is. Speak of the devil. So there's, of course, some stuff going on in the world to warn y'all about. Some scams, some new drugs. Yeah, look, here she is. Oh, I love you. I don't know why you're screaming. And she has a air tag on her because she's a indoor cat, but once she slipped out the door and was gone for 6 hours, and I was hysterical. Um, so now she has this big collar on because she's a menace. I need to adjust my lighting here. Doot, 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 doot. Anyway, yeah, my camera's being a little weird. Maybe I need to adjust it more. But anyway, yeah, I haven't been streaming as much for a few reasons. I'll give you a quick little update on my life. One, there's been some trolls, some really horrible trolls that are taking things way too far. So I decided to take a break to not fuel that fire. Um, I have been having some health issues. Um, been having a lot of testing done. I'm getting more testing done on Friday. I have some more doctor's appointments. Um, so I haven't really been feeling my best, and I've been sleeping a lot. Um, and my dog also is not doing great. She just suddenly started acting her age, and she will be 13 in November. I have spent more money on her health than my own, um, and money that I shouldn't have. But she's my dog, she's my baby, so I've had a bunch of testing done on her, um, and it's really hard to see this dog that's been so strong and independent, and I'm gonna cry just talking about it. Um, just kind of like, she's just, uh, we think that she has dementia because she just gets confused, and she's very clingy now. She has to like always be near one of us. So my roommate and I agreed that we will not leave the dog alone. If I have to go somewhere for an extended period of time, then the dog will be with him. Thankfully, his job allows me to take the dog there. I mean, other than that, she's healthy. They can't find anything wrong with her, but she is exhibiting signs of dementia. And a couple of you messaged me on X, Twitter, when I had asked some questions about dementia for dogs. And I do appreciate those of you that reached out to me to give me some advice. So I very much appreciate that. So, yeah, there's been a lot going on. I'm going to try to be back more. I definitely enjoy spending time with you guys and informing of stuff that's going on in the world, and just connecting with you guys has kept me sane for the most part. I don't see that many people in my life, or daily for that matter. I spend a lot of time in my house, so y'all are my connection to the outside world for the most part. So I have some updates on uh, Murdoch trial, which that's a few days old, so some of you may already know about it. Uh, the ketamine queen, that was arrested in Matthew Perry's death. New narcotic warning. I'm pretty sure we discussed it before, but um, other drugs that are out there making people act insane. Today is also the anniversary of uh, Tara Noel, Tara Noel, uh, having to kill her stepdad. She's the one that inspired Dirty John, and she's become an outspoken advocate. She's been very involved in the true crime space and advocacy and stuff like that. So today is the anniversary of her having to kill John in self defense. So it's not an easy day for her either. So just want to set aside. I'm going to play a video about her in a little bit. Oh, I haven't streamed in so long. I forgot that my mouse needs batteries. It froze for a second and I was like, oh my God. But, and then I already have some happy videos to end with. Um, oh, and also there was a massive data breach with everybody's social security numbers. So I'm going to show you guys how to check if yours was part of the leak, but it probably was. Most of us have had our information stolen at one point or the other. My information's been out there since, I don't know, 15 years or so. But good luck getting anything good on my credit. Because I got it locked, but if you think you're going to get something good, you're sorely mistaken. But anyway, moving right along. Let me figure out where I want to be while these videos play. Here, no. Here, no. I have so many different things here. This? No. You know what? We'll just do this one. All right. First video. South Carolina agrees to hear Alex Murdaugh. Jury tampering appeal. Oh, I need to move myself. I don't like where I am. No. Nope. Sure. Where's the one that I normally use? I don't know. I'm just gonna hit play while I figure this out.
Alex Murdaugh is one step closer to a possible retrial. The South Carolina Supreme Court says it'll hear Murdaugh's appeal about alleged jury tampering while he stood trial for killing his wife and son. Eva Pilgrim has the latest. Eva?
This morning, in a surprise ruling, the South Carolina Supreme Court agreeing to hear Alex Murdaugh's jury tampering appeal. In a July filing, Murdaugh's lawyers arguing to the Supreme Court, common sense says that when an elected state official goes into the jury room during a murder trial to advocate for a guilty verdict because she wants to make money selling books about the guilty verdict, the result should be a mistrial. This decision now overturning a January hearing where former Chief Justice Jean Toll denied Murdaugh a new trial after allegations of jury tampering by court clerk Becky Hill. The Supreme Court will now consider whether Murdaugh should be granted a new trial. Previously, 3 of the 12 jurors saying court clerk Becky Hill talked about Murdaugh with them. It was Hill that read the guilty verdict at Murdaugh's trial 6 months later, writing a book about it all. She is facing 76 counts of misconduct with connection to improperly seeking financial gain and will appear before the State Ethics Commission in December. Hill denies any wrongdoing. Murdaugh, meanwhile, is serving life without parole in state prison after a jury found him guilty of killing his wife and son. Diane?
Yeah, this is why you have to follow the rules in court. Like, this is why you have to follow all the rules. And if you are a juror, don't lie about the questions that they ask you, because if they find out, something like this could happen. And something could be overturned that shouldn't be because of a technicality. And I know that legally that's right, but that shit pisses me off. So, anyway. So there were arrests in the death of Matthew Perry. Ketamine is becoming more commonly used in the mental health setting. So there's doctors that are prescribing it. You can do a IV drip. They're sending pills. There's a lot of different ways that you can use ketamine, and ketamine can be used for depression, but it definitely needs to be under doctor supervision and in a safe environment.
The indictment of 2 doctors and 3 other suspects in connection with the death of actor Matthew Perry has exposed what prosecutors are calling an underground drug ring in Los Angeles. And a lot of attention is focused on the woman being dubbed the Queen of Ketamine and her lavish lifestyle. Jim Murray has the latest.
We're learning more about the so-called Queen of Ketamine's lavish lifestyle before her arrest in connection with Matthew Perry's death. The accused drug dealer posted videos, partying it up at dance clubs, showing off designer clothes and bling. There she is next to a $200,000 Maybach at her birthday party, which was pimp-themed. The party was held 6 days before Matthew Perry's drug overdose last October. 2 weeks later, she was off to Japan, indulging in shopping sprees. Her high-end lifestyle also included private jets, vacations at oceanfront resorts, and posing with celebrities like Charlie Sheen in 2022. Prosecutors say Jasveen Sangha's extravagant lifestyle was funded by selling drugs to the rich and famous. Law enforcement says they confiscated 50 bags of narcotics here at her North Hollywood apartment, which they're calling her stash house. Prosecutors allege 2 weeks before he died, Sangha sold the Friend star 50 vials of ketamine for $11,000, boasting, "The drugs are amazing. He can try it, and I have more if he likes." We're also learning more about Matthew Perry's live-in assistant, Kenneth Iwamasa. Prosecutors say he injected the actor with at least 27 shots of ketamine in the 5 days leading up to his death. On the day of Perry's fatal overdose in his hot tub, prosecutors say Iwamasa injected Perry 3 times. As he was being given the final and lethal dose, Perry told him, "Shoot me up with a big one." 2 doctors are also being named in the indictment. Dr. Mark Chavez has agreed to plead guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to distribute ketamine. Dr. Salvador Plasencia is accused of supplying Perry with 20 vials of ketamine for $55,000 and has pleaded not guilty. He's the doctor who allegedly called Perry a moron. I spoke with his attorney, Stephen Sachs. The prosecutor is claiming that your client charged Matthew Perry $55,000 for what amounted to hundreds of dollars in ketamine, and that one of his text messages reportedly said something like, "Let's see how much this moron will pay."
If the text message is true, while it certainly is insensitive, it's definitely not criminal.
The lawyer says his client stopped treating Matthew Perry 2 weeks before he died.
But you still gave him ketamine. Yeah, ketamine is a sedative. It's not something that you want to, take and get in water. I mean, that's what happened to Matthew. He fell asleep and drowned in the water. That's very sad because he didn't have to die. And he had issues with addiction, and when you're a celebrity and have that much money, you can get anything that you want. So, yeah, the doctors should be held accountable. I'm not sure if she's being charged with another death, but I wouldn't be surprised if she is. That's something that's starting to happen more, that if you sell somebody drugs and they die, people are getting charged with that. A childhood friend of mine is actually in prison for murder for selling somebody drugs and they overdosed. I haven't spoken to her in a very, very long time, and I was sad to see that, but, I agree that, she should have been held accountable for that. I don't know. If you guys find anything out about someone else that died, let me know. Oh, there's my phone. I don't know if you guys heard my text message noise. It's a dinosaur from Jurassic Park. So the next video is going to be about narcotics that are on the street now that they're issuing warnings about. There was a case recently that had to do with pink cocaine where a woman was driving and killed some people. So it's not normal cocaine. There's a bunch of other stuff in it.
I've never seen the drug supply as lethal as the one we see today.
So now there's this new and urgent warning this morning about a new drug making its way into the tri-state area.
Narcotics prosecutors say do not let its color, which is somewhat fun, or appearance fool you. It is a mystery drug that is hitting the club scene, and the ease of how it is pouring into the area may surprise and disgust you.
Yeah, Dan Krauth joining us now with more on this. I mean, that's a heavy sentence. We've never seen it more dangerous than it is right now. It's scary.
No, they absolutely have not. It's a drug that's coming into our area from Latin America. While its bright color stays the same, what's inside can change from day to day and from dealer to dealer. It's just as colorful as New York City's nightclub scene. But the narcotic cocktail could be dangerous, even deadly.
Well, I mean, it looks like cotton candy. You know, it may have that kind of appeal to somebody.
But there's nothing fluffy or sweet about it.
You have no idea what you're taking. The drug supply has never been more dangerous in this city.
It's called pink cocaine.
It's actually not cocaine.
In the cases the New York City Special Narcotics Prosecutor and DEA have seen, when it's lab tested, it actually has very little to no cocaine at all. Instead, a mixture of cheaper man-made drugs, from ketamine to ecstasy. So the only ingredient that won't get you high is actually the food coloring.
That's right.
A mixture of dangerous uppers and downers.
When you see that mixture of your body being pulled in two directions, being amped up with a methamphetamine or a cocaine, and being sedated with something like ketamine, you know, that's a recipe for a terrible, terrible effect on the body.
The DEA says in some cases, the deadliest of drugs, fentanyl, is also getting mixed in.
This is 2 milligrams of what would be considered a lethal dose of fentanyl.
Where even a tiny amount can be deadly.
They're mixing fentanyl in because they want to increase addiction. They want to increase their customer base. They want more people to come back and buy their drug. And it's something that every parent should be concerned about.
These drugs aren't being sold as you might think on street corners. Prosecutors say they busted a New York City woman this summer for selling pink cocaine on a messaging app through her cell phone. Here's what authorities say was her menu of drugs for sale. She's accused of then shipping the drugs through the mail straight to customers.
You have this criminal underworld that has weaponized social media to push their poison to the far reaches of the United States and across the globe.
According to law enforcement sources, with the use of technology and social media, the mystery mixtures are easier to get than ever before, and there are more drug overdose deaths reported than ever before. The bottom line, they say, there's no longer any such thing as safe experimentation, no matter how colorful it might be. And that woman that prosecutors charged with selling the drug this summer has pleaded not guilty to the charges. The drug also goes by the name 2C on the street, and it's a drug that's hard to track right now, but was first spotted in January of last year in New York City. Prosecutors say it's spreading not only through the tri-state area, but from coast to coast.
Yeah, and the alarming aspect to it, too, is that you don't know, like you pointed out at the end of that story, you don't know what is in there. And so you could be buying a bunch of different
You have no
things.
idea what you're going to get. And the number one question I get from people is, why would a drug dealer put fentanyl inside a drug to begin with?
Right.
That's what we're all asking.
It's a business. It gets more people addicted. They do not care, according to the DEA, how many people die because of it, because that many more customers get addicted and want whatever the other person's buying.
And it's cheap and all of the,
Much cheaper.
Much cheaper.
It's synthetic, made in a lab, and it doesn't have to be grown like cocaine and other narcotics.
Other colors, they're trying to make it look fun.
They're seeing some yellow now, but it's mainly pink, which is the most concerning because they're marketing, literally. It's a business for young people.
And that's the point of the colors. It's strictly marketing.
Marketing only. It reminds me of the fentanyl pills that came out.
Right.
Yeah,
that you
it
brought
looked
up.
like candy. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know that they're using colors to appeal to kids, but yeah, it's marketing. And unfortunately, generally, when something kills somebody, then sales will go up because they know it's strong. But yeah, drugs are terrifying now. It's, I mean, street drugs were never safe, but it's so much worse than it was when I was a kid. The chances of you overdosing and dying back then were a lot, the chances were a lot lower. I mean, I definitely lost friends from drugs back in the day, but that's when Oxycontin was out and people were snorting Oxycontin. That's when the first overdoses really started happening. and that's why they changed the formula to OxyContin. But anyway, so now how to check if your social security number was leaked. I highly recommend that everybody locks down their credit anyway. The chances of your identity being stolen are pretty high. And I lock my credit cards most of the time until I'm going to use them because you never know when somebody has your number. The other day, somebody was trying to charge something on one of my credit cards in Dallas, and it definitely wasn't me. And I have no idea how my number got leaked, but anyway, here we go.
What's happening in the tech world? A major data breach has exposed nearly 3 billion records, including social security numbers. So what can you do to protect yourself? Well, for starters, you might want to check to see what information about you is floating around online. There are data brokers, and then there's the dark web. While it's possible to remove yourself from data brokers, it's nearly impossible to remove your info from the dark web. You can check sites like Have I Been Pwned, Google's results about you, and then there's a free tool from Pen Tester that can reveal if your social security number was involved in this breach. If so, you might want to consider putting a freeze on your credit. Sign up for online access to your financial accounts so you can monitor them for any fraudulent activity. Enable two-factor authentication and lock your cell phone number to protect it from a takeover, also known as a SIM swap. Also, be extra careful about any fraud emails and texts you might get. When in doubt, call the bank number on your statement or on the back of your card. I'll put a link to where you can check to see if your social security number was involved in this data breach on my website, richontech.tv.
richontech.tv. So you can look there to see, let's see, richontech.tv. Let me find the link. Now I don't want to subscribe. I don't. Okay, where's the link, sir? Where is it? I don't want to have to look for it. Where is it? I don't see a... Oh, okay. I don't know why they make this so hard to find. Okay. All right. Another link. Cool. I have to click something else. Okay. Alrighty. I found the link finally. So I had to click on 4 things to find it. That's easy. That's like, dude, let's make it easier for people to find. All right, so there's the website that you can use. I just put it in the chat to see if your number's been leaked, because that was a pain in the ass to find. I'm going to write them a letter. Your website sucks. Anyway. So now we're going to move on to crime. Got a bunch of stuff happening all over the country, of course. So first is somebody got attacked in court.
Is breaking news on WDSU.
But first, breaking news from criminal court as the woman accused of helping her boyfriend after he set a house on fire, killing his 3 children inside, gets attacked in court. Those jarring moments unfolding after Shanika Phillips pleaded guilty to that gut-wrenching crime. WDSU's Ariel Brumfield was inside that courtroom. And Ariel, what prompted all of this?
Well, Randy, let me just start by saying Judge Kenya Holmes, she definitely told both families to remain calm, to stay in their seats, to not speak out. And she acknowledged the sensitivity of this case, but she also said that if they cut up in court today, they were going to jail. And things just took a turn for the worse very quickly. Now, there was a woman named Angel who actually rushed the bench where Shanika and her attorneys were sitting. She started hitting her from behind, dragged her out of her chair. And then that's when the deputies started to break up that fight. But by that time, obviously, family on both sides of this case, very emotional. And this incident happened actually after we heard witness or impact statements from the grandmother of those 3 kids, as well as their aunt. We are also told that this happened after Phillips decided to change her plea to guilty. She is guilty for 2 counts of accessory after the fact. Like I said, it was a very emotional day. Shanika Phillips is accused of being an accomplice to her boyfriend, Joseph Washington, who was accused of setting a home on America Street on fire, killing his 3 kids that were inside. And we're told in court, we heard from the grandmother that Phillips was actually aware of what Washington did. They say that he texted her actually admitting to setting that house on fire and killing the kids as well. So that woman's name, or the woman, Angel, who actually attacked those kids, we're told that she was very close to the family, intimately involved with those 3 kids. She said that she would take them to get haircuts with them for sports practices and things like that. So she was very shaken up. But Kenya Holmes very upset with how this played out today. Obviously saying that we'll have to rejoin. We're told now at this point, the families will be back in court on Thursday to resolve this. I'll send it back to you now, Randy.
Yeah, a lot of drama there in court today. Ariel, thank you so much for that.
I mean, I don't really blame the family at all, especially when it's children. Grabbed her out of the seat. I'm just upset that there's no video. I wanted to see her dragged out of her seat. I don't condone violence, but I mean, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna say attack somebody, but yeah. So, anyway. So there was a manhunt after a child killer escaped prison with some help. But he has been caught after a 3-day manhunt, and a woman helped him. Like, both of these women, I'm not helping anybody that hurts anybody, like, especially children. Both of these men helped, or both of these women helped men that killed children. Like, I don't understand their thought process or how they would want to help a man that hurts a child.
Ramon Alston had been on the run since Tuesday, and we know his run from the law ended overnight at a hotel in Kannapolis near Charlotte. That's a journey of more than 100 miles. Right now, let's go to Tamara Scott, who's outside the Orange County Sheriff's Office with the latest. Tamara?
Hey, good morning, John and Barbara. Yeah, this puts an end to the days-long search for Ramon Alston that we've been following this week. And we know that he was captured at a hotel just outside of Charlotte. This is a lot of moving details here, but take a look at this video that we've just obtained here. Video of his arrest at that hotel early this morning. Now, we're told it happened just before 2 o'clock. This is the hotel on Cloverleaf Parkway in Kannapolis. It was an operation that included FBI Charlotte SWAT agents, the Kannapolis Police, and Charlotte and Mecklenburg Police as well. Now, he was taken into custody without injuries to anyone. Now, there was another person who was arrested in connection with this. A female acquaintance, Jacobia Crisp, was arrested in Alamance County and charged with felony aiding and abetting a fugitive. Now, we did get a chance to speak with one of the employees at the hotel. Take a listen.
I seen him and her, interacting and, leaving, coming back in and stuff like that. And, I just, like with every dress, I just smile, say hello, and just have small talk. And then that was it.
And they checked out, you said Thursday.
Yes.
And do you know where they were arrested this morning?
I don't think they were arrested here on property. I think they found them down somewhere else. But there was police here around 3 o'clock today and was going through everything.
Now, this is a search that had spanned several counties at this point. Last night, even our I-team was tipped off that there was a police presence at a family home of Ramon's just outside of Chapel Hill, where there was many police cars there as well. So this is something that we will continue to follow as we learn more about what exactly led up to this capture early this morning. But for now, I'll send it back to you, John and Barbara.
All right, Tamara, thank you. And now we focus on the next step, the investigation.
How Austin managed to escape. Jamise Price live at the hospital where it all started. Jamise, we know he got help.
And that's right, John. We know that there was some type of accomplice in this case, and investigators are working to find out if there were any additional accomplices. They're also trying to find out if Austin committed any crimes while he was on the run, and they are tracing all of his movements since escaping the Department of Corrections custody here at UNC Hillsborough Hospital. on Tuesday. So we know he was brought here for what should have been a doctor's appointment. So Department of Corrections telling us that he has been here before and he was coming up for a follow-up appointment. We also checked in to determine the connection between the hospital and the Department of Corrections. They said that they have a hospital on their campus as well, their central campus, but some procedures must be brought to another hospital and performed outside of their hospital. So those two guards who were in charge of transporting Ramon Alston, we checked in on that. They are still on duty, according to the Department of Corrections, and they have no indication that those officers did anything improper. So Alston had been serving out his life sentence at a medium custody facility. We are learning this morning that he will continue to serve out that life sentence, but now at a high security facility in Hillsborough.
I would hope so, because he escaped. Yeah, he should be at a high facility. So, some more information about the woman. She's appeared in court now.
First at 5, we are now seeing the woman accused of helping convicted murderer Ramon Alston during his escape last week. Good evening, I'm Liz Ortiz.
Everybody, I'm Russ Bowen. Jacobia Crisp appeared in court just a couple of hours ago. CBS 17's Ben Boglin is live for us tonight. And what's the latest, Ben?
It's a quick appearance today for Jacobia Crisp as she posted bond shortly after her arrest on Friday. So today she walked into the courthouse and shortly after, within minutes, she walked out with family members.
Chris, can you tell us why you helped Ramon? No.
Jacobia Crisp refusing to answer questions as she walks out of court this afternoon, accused of helping Ramon Alston during his run from the law. Crisp, flanked by family members, including a man who identified himself as her grandfather.
She's not allowed to say anything to nobody.
Moments earlier, the 32-year-old was arraigned on charges of aiding and abetting a fugitive and harboring an escapee. Investigators say Crisp began her relationship with Alston several months ago, mostly by phone. She allegedly drove the escapee around, but officials didn't say where to and from. Alston had also been staying under a female's name at the hotel where he was captured. Crisp arrested at her Burlington home on Friday, but quickly posted a $30,000 bond. Authorities say Crisp has no record other than minor traffic offenses. Her LinkedIn page says she most recently worked as a local pharmacy technician. All this as Alston serves a life sentence for the 2015 murder of a 1-year-old baby, Malia Williams, shot in a drive-by on Christmas Day.
Did you check this house?
Alston escaped custody after arriving at the UNC Hospital's Hillsborough campus last Tuesday for a scheduled medical appointment. Now, one of the charges Chris faces carries up to 39 months behind bars. The other one carries up to 24 months behind bars. She's ordered to have no contact with Alston, and she's scheduled to make her next appearance in court on September 13th. We're live here in Hillsborough. Ben Boken, CBS 17 News.
Yeah, and now she's going to go to prison for helping a child killer. I don't understand. I don't get it. So there was a near kidnapping that was caught on camera. I highly advise everybody have some sort of security cameras, Ring, Blink, whatever. Just have security cameras because you never know when you'll need them or your neighbors, and it's better to be safe. And they're not that expensive.
To the new alert for parents with kids heading back to school. 2 attempted kidnappings in Texas were caught on cameras. Eva Pilgrim is here now with the frightening footage of what parents can do to try to help keep their kids safe. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Lindsay. I'm sure this is something you feel. This is something we as parents can't help but worry about. Someone taking our kids. And safety experts say this time of year, with kids going back to school, walking or waiting at bus stops, it's important to have a conversation with your children about what to do just in case.
This morning, as kids across the country head back to school, a warning for parents everywhere.
Get your mom, get your mom, get your mom. I heard screaming and I thought, and I could hear commotion outside.
You see in this door camera video first obtained by ABC affiliate WFAA, the moment apparent kidnappers tried to take a group of 9-year-old boys. Gina Skolnick, the mother of 2 of the boys, telling us her kids were having a play date at her house when 2 vehicles pulled up near them. Her son Zachary sounding the alarm.
So we get onto the sidewalk and we try to skip past, and I hear the drivers telling my friends to get into their car.
The boys taking off, running and screaming.
I was the first one at the door screaming, someone's trying to kidnap us.
Moments later, you see someone in a white t-shirt and shorts get out of a white SUV, running after her son Jonathan. Jonathan says the man was calling to him, trying to lure him into the SUV.
He said, there's a football player in the back of the car. And then he said, get in the back of the car. And I said, I'm sorry, I looked up the strangers, and I ran away.
The suspect noticing Skolnick with a cell phone camera in her hand, leaving the scene, but not before she was able to get a picture of the license plate. And just miles away earlier that morning, another near kidnapping caught on camera. In this security video, you see a teenage girl hiding behind a neighbor's car, trying to avoid being taken by a man. That car belongs to Shane Burke, who says the teenager came to his door for help.
She said that somebody that she didn't know had been following her, kind of gawking at her, staring at her, making her feel uncomfortable. She was extremely shook up.
Experts encouraging parents to talk to their kids about safety as a new school year begins.
Children should be very wary of strangers that are in a car approaching them. We know that the vast majority of attempted abductions and successful abductions use a vehicle. We know that the perpetrators are using the same lures, like asking for directions, looking for a lost puppy, or having candy. And so parents need to be talking to their children about identifying these risky situations and knowing how to avoid them.
The brothers with a message to other children.
Just scream. We are very lucky and we're very grateful.
And authorities are still searching for the suspects in both of those cases. Police say there's no reason to think the two are related. And as for us parents, there's some things we need to keep in mind as we send our kids back to school. First, no names on backpacks. You don't want a stranger to be able to call your child's name and confuse them. And be careful how much information you're sharing about your kids on social media. Avoid posting those cute pictures with the boards sharing your child's age, school, and grade. They're cute, but they also give a lot of information.
Wow. But in both those videos, those kids did all the right things.
Yeah.
Wow.
So smart.
So smart.
And a good reminder for us of why we need to have that conversation with our kids.
Talk to your kids about it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have kids, but I've definitely talked to my roommate's daughter and my little cousin whenever I've hung out with her. One time we were out to lunch, and then this guy just walks up and offers her some candy. And, like, I let her take it to be polite, but then I threw it away. I told her don't ever take candy from strangers, literally. But, I mean, he probably didn't have any nefarious, stuff going on. Probably just a sweet old man, but you never know, unfortunately. So better safe than sorry. And those kids did absolutely do the right thing. And don't have a bunch of stuff on your car either. The bumper stickers, my kid's an honor student at whatever elementary, the little stick figure families. The only identifying thing that I have about my house, it says, protective dog lives here. Do not knock or ring doorbell. That's it. So they know a dog is here, and a protective one at that. So hopefully the bad guys would be scared of my dog. But I have cameras in the front. I have cameras all in the house. I want to get one for the back door. I don't have one at the back door right now, but I do have them inside. So if someone were to breach the back door, but because I want to upgrade the Ring camera I have. Because the way that my house is set up, the doorbell is like here. So if I put the Ring there, it would face the wall, which is stupid. So I have a Ring that's like on the door and looks out. But everybody rings that damn side doorbell. So I'm probably going to switch that one to a Ring too. But anyway. Another thing that we need to talk to children about is just because somebody is in a position of power doesn't necessarily mean that we can trust them blindly. That set boundaries with kids on, what places are okay for a doctor to look at or for another adult. Make sure that your kids are comfortable telling you if something happens and that they can properly talk about their body parts. A school psychologist was busted in South Florida for multiple child porn charges. So this is somebody that has access to children and should be a trusted person. There was also a psychologist in Florida that trafficked a 15-year-old girl. So it's really unfortunate that we have to be this paranoid nowadays, but this is why we need to have the conversations with children. And Donna, I'm not sure. There could have been a story last week about meth-filled candy, but I feel like there's just, yeah, I mean that there, I'm sure there'll be more candy stories coming out on as we get closer and closer to Halloween.
Right now at 6, we begin with the Local 10 News Safety Alert. A Miami-Dade school's
Okay, so it looks like something happened when this guy was arrested, and I can't say I'm upset about it.
psychologist arrested and accused of heinous acts. Investigators say he sent out videos that show children engaging in sex acts.
And when police arrived at his home, he barricaded himself inside a bathroom. Let's get right to Local 10's Leanne Motorhone live in Southwest Miami-Dade with the disturbing details. Leanne.
We're talking about a child psychologist accused of possessing and distributing child porn. The raid that resulted in his arrest took place at the home right behind me. The school district says he is now fired.
Good morning, Mr. Turner.
62-year-old Robert Lee Turner appearing in bond court Tuesday, visibly injured and wearing a safety smock. He's charged with 2 counts of distributing child pornography, 5 counts of possessing child porn, and 2 counts of resisting arrest. What's even more disturbing, Turner is a child psychologist specializing in patients with autism and was recently employed by Miami-Dade Public Schools.
He was working with special needs kids, including kids with autism.
Miami-Dade police say they received a cyber tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children submitted by Instagram. Turner is accused of sending 2 videos to 50 users using his account Dr. Robert L. Turner, an account that has since been deleted by Meta. The same account allegedly contained 5 images and videos of children, the descriptions of which are too disturbing and graphic for television. Police say he described one of those videos in a comment as yummy. On Wednesday, police served a search warrant at his house, the signs of which are still evident by the broken front door. Police say Turner tried resisting arrest by hiding in a bathroom and prevented his hands from being cuffed. Police say he admitted the account was his to viewing child porn and even identified one of the images.
No unsupervised contact with any minor children.
Through the window of this vehicle parked outside Turner's home, we can see this Miami-Dade school's exceptional student sweater. The district tells Local 10 Turner was employed with them since 2017. And while he was not assigned to any one specific school, he was sent to schools throughout the district as needed. MDCPS calls the allegations against Turner disturbing and says he's been terminated and will never again be employed by the district. The judge ordered Dr. Turner held on a $28,000 bond. If he posts that bond, he must be on house arrest with a GPS monitor. He has also been ordered to stay away from any minors under the age of 18 and is prohibited from using the internet unless it's to communicate with his attorney. We're live in Southwest Miami.
Yeah. Tash, I'm not upset about it either. Like, I'm totally okay with that he resisted. I know, let me see, there's another story, and I think it's coming out around the same area with another psychologist that trafficked a 15-year-old. I think it was even the same judge. Let me find it real quick. Let me see if I can find it. Nope. I'm trying to look at my profile. Excuse me. Excuse me, Twitter, because I know I shared the story. How do I search here on the computer? I don't want to search. Hold on. I'm going to find it on my computer. Do, 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 do. But yeah, so it's important that kids know that even people in positions of power and authority, you need to be careful of. You can't fully trust anyone. And like it's, where is it? Here we go. Does this have a video? Doot, doot, doot. I don't see a video. So, yeah, there's a 30-second video that I'm going to play, and then I'll tell you guys a little bit more about this other psychologist. Which it really pisses me off, because trying to get people mental health help is hard enough as it is. So for it to be these people that are supposed to help others, it just really gets to me. Come on, mouse. Come on. Here we go. Yeah, so this is also in Miami.
Tonight, a woman who says she's a psychologist is accused of trying to lure a 15-year-old girl into human trafficking in Southwest Miami-Dade.
Psychologist. I'm a PhD. I will lose my license and my life. I need help. I've never even touched that girl, kissed her.
Police say Maria Durant met the girl while the teen was walking her dog near a hotel. Officials say the woman used her position to gain the girl's trust and then offered her alcohol and marijuana. According to detectives, the suspect tried to pressure the victim to have sex with at least 2 men. She's accused of exchanging sex for drugs to satisfy her addictions.
Yeah, so same judge as the other psychologist. So I found an article. So she met the girl at a Kendall Hotel pool. She's 45, from North Miami. And yeah, the girl confided with her about personal issues. She offered her marijuana and alcohol, but the victim declined. She invited the girl back to her hotel later that night. She took photos of the victim and sent photos to a man that said the girl was 21 years old and willing to have sex with him. And the victim told her she wasn't willing to do that, but the woman continued to insist. And the man came to the room and had sex with the woman in front of the girl and had the girl record a video to teach her. Like, this isn't some confusion. You know, this isn't some accident. There's a lot of details in here where I don't know how she's going to defend this. The woman then attempted to leave the room alone with the man, but the girl was uncomfortable being alone with her. The woman pushed the girl back inside the room, told her to stay and make Jason feel good. The girl went into the bathroom to play on her cell phone and hide, and when she came out of the bathroom, the guy was exposing himself and inviting him to have sex with her. She declined, and he forced her to perform a sex act. So, yeah, this is definitely, I don't see how you would, there's no defense. I'm a psychologist, I'm a PhD, I'll lose my license. I need help. Yeah, you do. So that judge that we love so much, she said, "You're freaking out, but you had no problem with the facts alleged here. It's pretty awful." I like that judge. So she was still in custody as of Monday, and they did verify that she is a licensed psychologist. She's not authorized to practice in the state of Florida, but she does have a license that's been active since 2021 as a mental health counselor. People like that have degrees. It doesn't mention if the man was arrested at all. I would hope that he would be arrested because he should be, because he knew very well that she was 15. Because in the story, it also says that the woman told him she was 15. So. So another kidnapping attempt in Detroit. A woman stopped a kidnapping while on rollerblades.
She stepped in as a man tried to run off with her 7-year-old niece.
I could not let her go. There's no way I could have let her go.
Her harrowing story is the man charged with trying to abduct that girl faces a judge.
I've gone over the charges.
Getting our first look at security camera video of that terrifying encounter.
Take a look. This is the suspect right there, Andy Bala from Shelby Township. He is accused of not only trying to abduct this 7-year-old, but also a 15-year-old earlier in the day in Clinton Township. Let's get out to Sean Lay live this evening. Sean, the video of this attack is so terrifying.
It is absolutely terrifying, but we all really need to see it. I asked the aunt who saved the 7-year-old little girl, her niece, this was the real deal. She says, this was the real deal, a child abduction, and it was her niece. I said, what did you do? She said she jumped through the driver's side window here, grabbed onto the steering wheel and the alleged abductor, tried to fight him off. And I said, what were you saying to him the whole time? You've got to listen to this.
He was screaming. I could hear him say, let go, let go, let go. It was very broken. He said something at the end, but I just kept, and I were just connected, and I just kept telling her to fight, go, go, don't give up, go. And we just, thank God we were just on that. We just were so connected, and she fought for her life. Like, I don't know.
Her name is Alicia. She is a hero. You can see, you can feel the intensity in her eyes. She is the aunt you see in this shocking video. Her 7-year-old niece ripped off her bike by this man, stuffing her in his car. Alicia was on rollerblades. She was not going to let him take that little girl. What did you do?
When I saw him going towards her, I booked it on my rollerblades, and I just prayed that I would not fall, and I dove through the driver window. He was grabbing her and throwing her in the passenger side and trying to climb over her, and we both just fought for the steering wheel, and I just snaked my arm in as far as I could so that I could not fall out of the car because I just didn't know. I didn't know what was happening, and I just could not let her go.
That accused kidnapper, his name is Andy Bala. He was officially charged late this afternoon in Macomb County. Back here live, I'll take you inside the courtroom tonight at 6 to see what happened there when he was officially charged. And also, I'm digging into his criminal history right here in Macomb County. More of that at 6. More of Alicia, the aunt, who's absolutely remarkable at 6 o'clock as well. Much more she has to say and share with us. She said she was in warrior mode, making sure she saved her 7-year-old niece. Karen?
Her adrenaline definitely was pumping. I give her so much credit. Now, when we talked before, you had mentioned Alicia's son was there as well.
This is something new that I didn't pick up in the video and didn't see from any of the police reports. Her 8-year-old son was there, and he got in front of the car and sat down on it. He was hurt. The car was running into him. He was trying to save his cousin. And so more about him also at 6 o'clock. But we did not know that part. He was banged and bruised, had to go to the hospital. He's okay. The little girl also, her step-grandmother tells me they're trying to keep things normal at home for the kids.
Okay.
The third kidnapping attempt story just this morning. So this week, there has been multiple kidnapping attempts in Texas, and this one in Detroit. I'm guessing it has to do with the fact that school is out and the kids are out more. I don't know, but that's terrifying. I had absolutely no idea that they were that brazen and would just literally run up and kidnap somebody. Like, that seems like something out of a movie. It's terrifying. So we definitely need to be aware and, put Apple tags, some way to track your kid, especially if they're smaller. I mean, I got an Apple tag on my cat. I know they have watches that help track kids, younger kids that don't have cell phones. It's absolutely terrifying that that's happening. Yeah, so that's definitely something to be extra aware of. So moving on to California, a taco truck owner faked a robbery and arson. We actually had this happen in Houston too, where people were faking robberies to help people get citizenship, because if you're a victim of a crime, then you can stay in the country. But unfortunately, in that case, the person that was pretending to be the robber got killed because somebody intervened trying to help. But in this one, the truck owner was arrested.
Caught on camera and caught in a lie. The Tulare County Sheriff's Office says a food truck owner staged a robbery and committed insurance fraud. The crime landed him and another man in jail.
Action News reporter Kate Nemrich joins us now live in the studio with how detectives say the failed fraud went down. Kate?
Warren, Margot, the Tulare County Sheriff's Office released this surveillance video of what they now say is a staged robbery. This took place on August 2nd, but the suspected man behind the plan wasn't arrested until today. The video now causing a lot of talk online and around town in Visalia.
Honestly, kind of crazy, but you can't really put anything past people these days, so.
I thought it was crazy. You hear about that happening in like big cities and like on TV or something like that, but for somebody to do that kind of like fraud here in Visalia, like you don't see that happening a lot.
The Tulare County Sheriff's Office says they were called out to Caldwell and 99 in Visalia on August 2nd for a robbery of a taco truck. The owner, Pablo Serrano, told deputies two men took more than $800 in cash and an $80,000 pickup truck he uses to tow his food trailer, even handing over this surveillance video to officers showing the crime. While reviewing the video, another call came in.
And almost simultaneously, we got a call for a vehicle on fire in the Lynn Cove Woodlake area.
Lieutenant Gunderman says while responding, they found Juan Mendez walking down the road not far from the truck. They quickly tied the truck back to Serrano and Mendez to the surveillance video. Mendez was arrested, and that's when Lieutenant Gunderman says he revealed the plot.
At that point, detectives were led to believe that a meeting had taken place a couple weeks prior on July 19th. They were able to confirm that meeting did take place via video surveillance.
The next day, investigators say Serrano made an insurance claim for his burned vehicle. Just days before he was arrested, Serrano posted this video to Instagram, saying he had spoken to a detective about the case and that he had spent the day following the incident in the hospital. The sheriff's office referring to the crime online as nacho typical crime, cashing in on the puns, but not taking false reports lightly.
That they were blatantly taking advantage of the system, from the insurance company to the law enforcement officers to the arson investigators. It's disheartening that people try to cheat the system that way.
Serrano was arrested on charges of conspiracy to commit a crime, arson, and insurance fraud. He is being held on a $150,000 bond. Mendez was also arrested for conspiracy and arson. His bond is $50,000. Deputies are looking for a third person for questioning, but have not released a name. Warren?
So I'm just gonna go back. Come on, mouse. I'm gonna have to use my other mouse. It's okay. Doo-doo-doot. Come on. So I'm gonna show you guys the other robbery that I was talking about that was faked in Houston and somebody was killed. So like, especially in states that have pretty lax gun laws and self-defense, especially like faking a robbery at a gas station was really stupid. But so the bystander killed the fake robber.
Says a string of fake robberies staged so that the purported victims could get visas led to a man being killed by a bystander.
Now, we told you about this in January, that deadly shooting on Ella Boulevard. Well, it's a story that you'll only see here on Fox. And Fox 26's Abigail Dyes spoke with the fiancé of the man who died.
This is video that we showed you in January of what looks like a robbery turned homicide when police say a bystander shot and killed the robber and left the scene. But now we know this robbery was a setup. The man killed is 22-year-old Rashad Scott. Court records say William X. Winfrey paid Scott to fake the robbery so that the fake victims could apply for U visas. Records say police found 2 other fake robberies Winfrey set up before this one.
He didn't deserve what happened to him, and he was making a dumb decision. I'm not defending him, of course, but he didn't deserve to die.
Chade Beverly, Scott's fiance, is left to raise their 2 kids alone. Winfrey is now charged with murder in Scott's death.
You get to see your child, so your child can come see you behind the glass. Rashad will never see his kids again.
But Beverly says she also wants to see the shooter, Jesus Vargas, charged.
He's the one actually behind the trigger. He's the one who made that decision.
Court documents say he told police that he fled the scene because he was on probation, meaning he wasn't allowed to have a gun.
Nobody's really talking about the main issue here, and that's gun laws. They need to change.
Court documents say Winfrey admitted that he and Scott were doing these staged robberies for about a year in exchange for money, saying they had even done one the night before.
I don't expect people to feel bad. I don't expect people to feel sorry, but somebody still lost a life at the end of the day. Have some decorum.
Abigail Dye, Fox 26 News.
William Winfrey is charged with murder for his alleged involvement in the scheme. A Harris County grand jury will decide if the shooter, Jesus Vargas, will be charged.
Yeah, so I remember watching this interview. She annoyed me so bad with how she talked. Like, the gun laws have absolutely nothing to do with what happened. Sorry. Even if somebody had a concealed carry license, that probably would have happened. So what gun law would have prevented that? Nothing, probably. Like, it's pretty stupid to fake robberies in such a public place. The taco truck, at least, was just in the taco truck. Nobody else was involved with that. So at least the taco truck scam, they had it figured out a little bit better. So a DC, I'm not going to play this video because it's 6 minutes long. So a DC council member, Trayon White, accepted a bribe of $156,000. So if you're interested, I would look up that story. But yeah, $156,000 bribe. That's really stupid. So in San Antonio, a restaurant owner is busted for drug trafficking. Oh God. I need to go back. Go back. I have to share the video. Come on. Do. Yeah, and if you're in Texas, there's cooling areas. San Antonio has them. Houston has them. It is really freaking hot in Texas. And there was a video, actually, let me try to find this. It was so hot, I'm going to get sidetracked. Was it FedEx driver or UPS driver? Driver faints while driving. So it's been so hot that a delivery driver in his truck passed out from the heat. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to show you guys this video before I get to this next one, just because it's so freaking hot, and these delivery drivers don't have air conditioning in some of them. They're just open, and I think that they need air conditioning. It's too damn hot. It's been over 100, and the heat index here has been, 108, 110, 115. That's way too hot, and I can only be outside. I'm sensitive to heat. I can only be outside for so long, but these drivers shouldn't have to work like that. Oops, excuse me, I just burped. Hopefully you didn't hear that.
Know that heat can be so dangerous, and this morning we're sharing some wild video. A UPS truck going out of control. This is back on Friday. You can see it crashing into a tree there. So the UPS Drivers Union is speaking out. They're saying that driver passed out because of the heat. Greg just told us how dangerous it is, but they're worried it could happen again. Natalie Haddad is with us live this morning. And Natalie, we know this heat is not going away anytime soon. It is dangerous.
It is dangerous, and while it's already hot outside right now, guys, here in downtown Dallas over the weekend, we've been talking about it. Temperatures were over 100 degrees. It's what union workers say is what caused a UPS driver to pass out behind the wheel and crash, as we just saw in that video there. And now, as the temperatures will continue to stay high later on this week, not seeing any sort of relief. People are afraid that something like this could happen again. Check out this absolutely crazy video that we have. The UPS truck is seen going the wrong way down the road. This is in McKinney. You see the truck eventually veer off into the grass and then collides into the trees. Thankfully, the driver did survive the crash. He was released from the hospital that same day. Now, UPS union Teamsters Local Union 767 says the driver passed out behind the wheel from, again, the heat. They say the triple-digit temperatures are something workers worry about every summer because none of their UPS trucks have AC, at least not yet. In a statement to WFAA, UPS told us that they're equipping all new vehicles with AC and making modifications to existing cars, such as the ones we have here in North Texas. They've also given employees specialized cooling gear, access to ice and water, and encouraged them to take breaks to cool off when they need to. Meanwhile, UPS union tells us that the driver told his higher ups that he wasn't feeling well before he passed out and crashed that truck. We did ask UPS about this claim, if the driver did talk to them about how he wasn't feeling well because of the heat, but they did not answer our specific questions about that. Mark?
Of course not.
Well, tonight authorities.
Like, it's too damn hot. They shouldn't have to do that and take breaks when they need. I'm sure they're on a time limit. I really doubt that they're like, sure, just take a break whenever you need. No, the delivery drivers, all of those people should absolutely have air conditioning. It is too damn hot. Like, I think it's gonna be cooler today. Let me check. Let me see. Today, it's a little cooler today. It's only going to be 98 in Houston. And Dallas isn't even, it was a few degrees cooler than southern Texas. So, today in San Antonio, it will be 103, 104. And that's not with the heat index. That's just the normal temperature. I really am not a fan of heat like that. Living in Florida was not, like, the hottest it's going to be in Miami today is 91. Like, that's what I need. This heat in Texas is some bullshit. I love Texas. I do. I love living in Texas. Okay, so in Dallas today, it's going to be 100, and that's where that happened at. So it was probably much hotter then. Yeah, so if you are in an area that is under an excessive heat warning and you don't have air conditioning, there are multiple areas that do have cooling stations. You can call 211. They're giving away some fans. Some elderly people were able to get AC units last year, so just call 211 and see what your area has. 211 works everywhere in the United States. Oh, there goes my phone again.
Thank you, Bill. To other news today, the owner of a local restaurant is facing drug trafficking charges, according to a federal indictment. Jonathan Linares Lumbreras is charged with possession with intent to distribute cocaine, as well as conspiracy to possess with intent to sell cocaine. Documents with the city of San Antonio list Lumbreras as the owner of Pollos Asados El Gordo on Pin Road. Lumbreras was previously charged with drug possession in a criminal case. According to a release from the U.S. Attorney's Office, the case involved the arrest of 12 other people across South Texas. If convicted, he faces between 5 and 40 years in federal prison.
Yeah, that's dumb. Let's see. You had a restaurant. Oh yeah, there was a big fire in San Antonio. A spa and pool supply store caught on fire, and that's not good with all those chemicals. But yeah, you had a restaurant. Why are you trafficking stuff? Let's see. What else? So much stuff. So much stuff going on in the world. So there is, let me reload this. There's 2 teenagers that have been missing.
To other news today, the owner of
Pause. There's a teenager in San Antonio that has been missing and a teenager in Houston that has been missing. I'm going to play the video for the one in San Antonio, and then I'm going to do the video for the one in Houston just to help get their faces out there. Play.
Jeremy Baker, first at 4. Today marks 2 weeks since the family of 16-year-old Maya Gonzalez reported her missing. Sick with worry, they are praying for her return. KENS 5 reporter Mike Jimenez spoke with Maya's family.
Maya Gonzalez was last seen leaving her grandparents' home on Oak Valley Drive on the southwest side on August 5th. Her grandfather, Joe Lancaster, says they believe she may be with the family of her 19-year-old boyfriend.
By the time I'm going out the front door, he's coming in the front door because she's climbing in the car. And by the time I get outside, they were driving away.
Maya's family says she is bubbly, into music, drawing, electronics, and loves to be on social media.
So we figured we'd build tracker that way, but as soon as she left, she cut all her social media.
Lancaster says they are worried she might be exposed to trafficking.
She might get put into that arena. Hopefully not. She might get tied up in drugs. Hopefully not. We're just waiting to hear, hopefully, or she show back up.
Lancaster says he, along with her father, have been searching areas of the city where they believe she might be, but have not been able to find her.
The father wanted to be here, but he couldn't get out of work. And they're all besides themselves with the situation, hoping she can be found.
Maya has dealt with some emotional issues, including the death of her mother. And Lancaster says that stress may be one of the factors adding to her disappearance. Maya's family is asking anyone with information about where she could be to contact police, and they want her to know they care about her and just want her home.
We're worried about you. We want you to come back. You leaving the way you did was uncalled for. We can discuss the situation and go from there.
Mike Jimenez, KENS 5.
Yeah, I'm hoping that she's just off, being a rebellious teenager, and that they'll find her. And I get it. I ran away for 2 weeks after my dad died, so I get it. I'm not gonna condemn a teenager for not knowing how to handle her emotions when I've done the same thing. So let's hope that she's just hanging out with her friends and doing stupid crap like I was. So now moving on to Harris County, there is another teen that is missing and another father searching for his 16-year-old daughter that is suspected to be in New York City.
New at 10 o'clock in Northwest Harris County, families desperately searching for their missing teenage daughter. 16-year-old Avery Baker was last seen Thursday and has since been reported missing. Her father telling KPRC2's Bill Barajas that he believes his daughter may have been convinced to go to New York City by somebody she met online. Bill's at Bush Airport tonight with the latest in this case and her family's ongoing efforts to bring her home. Bill?
Well, Avery Baker is just 16. Her father, Anthony Baker, telling us he was unsure where she was until family and friends alerted him to this here. A Delta Airlines ticket showing she went from Bush Airport to New York's LaGuardia Airport. Baker believes she may have gone out there to visit a man she met online, who she since posted about. Avery Baker is by all accounts your normal 16-year-old. Fun, goofy, and according to her family, a great all-around kid.
She's happy, you know, she's constantly laughing and, you know, she's constantly making jokes with me or with us or her, you know, she's always playing with her little brother, and, you know, at the end of the day, she's a good girl. Anthony Baker telling us things seemed to be normal until last Thursday when he came home from a parent-teacher meetup for his younger son, and she was gone. I was angry at first, but, you know, it turned into fear and panic pretty quickly. Especially, you know, she's my firstborn. She's a gorgeous girl. With the help of family and friends on social media, he realized she posted her airline ticket. Baker telling us he was unaware a 16-year-old could even fly alone. According to Delta's website, they can. We were able to contact the airline, and they did confirm that she got on the plane. I just found out that it was a thing that, you know, pretty much after 15, in between 15 and 18, you don't really need an ID, you know, or to a parent or a consent, you know, of something like that. You know, it kind of blows my mind. These are pictures of the person she's believed to be with. His full name, age, where he lives, or exactly how they met, unknown. Now we're just trying to still get her location. We've contacted NYPD. You know, they're supposed to be working with, you know, Harris County to try and get as much information as they can to just get somebody to notice or say something, you know.
Right. What do you know about this guy?
I know his name is Alex, and that's it.
A missing persons report has been filed with the Harris County Precinct 5 Constable's Office, but Baker says there's still a lot of missing pieces in this investigation. He's asking anyone with information to please come forward and report it. From Bush Airport, Bill Barajas, KPRC 2 News.
It's terrifying because it seems that every week when I'm going through these stories, there is a teenager that has run away and has met somebody online, and, like, you know, sneaking out and meeting people offline is very dangerous. I mean, if we look at Jocelyn Nagiri, all she did was sneak out and go to a gas station for snacks, and she was murdered within a few hours of sneaking out. A good family friend of mine, her niece, met a man online. She was 14, and this was a much older man, and he took her to Oklahoma, and she ended up being sex trafficked. She is now back. She is safe, but she went through a lot, and it's terrifying. When you're a teenager, you don't think that these things can happen. You don't think that there's people like that out there, and anybody that is going to try to lure you away from your family does not have your best interest in mind, unless you're in a very abusive home situation. You know, it's pretty horrible. So I'm hoping that this young lady gets back soon. So, a North Texas Christian radio, the host had a mistress, and they had a Ponzi scheme.
Tarrant County prosecutors sentenced a woman to life in prison for her role in a multi-million-dollar Ponzi scheme. Prosecutors believe Deborah May Carter here came up with the scheme herself. Carter worked with the man she was having an affair with, former Christian radio broadcaster and host William Gallagher, to steal millions from retirees. Carter made fake documents to launder the money they stole. Fox 4's Amelia Jones spoke with one of Carter and Gallagher's victims. Amelia.
Steve, the woman I spoke to, she actually testified in both trials. She told me Carter showed no remorse for her crimes and no remorse for the dozens of people she hurt.
50 years.
Brenda and Gary Wilkerson were married on Valentine's Day in 1957. They added 4 boys to their family and always had strength in their faith.
I was taken so easily.
Brenda was an avid listener to a Christian radio program that featured William Gallagher, nicknamed Doc. In 2016, when she heard an elder at their church had invested with Doc, she and Gary did too
investing a total of $50,000.
Because I had read his book and I'd listened to the program and I thought it sounded all great.
But in 2019, Wilkerson's world fell apart. First, she lost her husband. Then in March of 2019, the money they invested was gone.
I was already under such a tremendous stress from losing my husband that just really, was a punch in the gut.
William Gallagher was arrested for the Ponzi scheme. He stole more than $30 million from more than 170 mostly retired victims. He didn't do it alone. In March 2021, Deborah May Carter, Gallagher's alleged mistress, was also arrested and charged for her role. She forged documents to keep money from coming back to the victims.
She was more culpable in many ways because I believe that she was the idea person behind the Ponzi scheme.
Tarrant County Assistant District Attorney Lori Varnell prosecuted both cases and believes Carter was the mastermind behind the scheme.
What struck me about this case was the many ways in which Ms. Carter was deceptive and her ability to keep straight so many different lies that she was spinning.
Brenda was a witness for the state in both trials.
In Gallagher's, he sat with his arms folded, his eyes closed. He leaned back in the chair with his legs out, never even like he was taking a nap. And she did the same thing.
Gallagher was convicted in Dallas and Tarrant County. He was sentenced to 3 life sentences for his role. This week, Carter received her life sentence.
I wanted her to get a life sentence. She damaged too many people's lives.
Carter actually ended up representing herself at her trial. The Tarrant County DA's office says their focus is now on trying to get back as much of the victims' money as they possibly can, and they're doing that through a receiver. Brenda Wilkerson told me today that she's seen a little more than $4,000 back from the original $50,000.
A former St. Isidro basketball
I just
star
clicked on the wrong
sentenced
thing.
in court today, talking about
Pause. I didn't know that you could get life for something like that. That's interesting. So got life for a scam, but then we have lots of other people that only get a few years from some really horrible things. The system is interesting. So now on to this other story.
a former St. Isidro basketball star sentenced in court today, talking about Mikey Williams, who pleaded guilty last November as part of a plea deal.
Our Delaney White joins us live from downtown with the details. Delaney.
19-year-old Mikey Williams appeared in court today on Microsoft Teams, having completed the necessary tasks to have his charge reduced from a felony to a misdemeanor.
Just months before Williams was set to graduate high school and attend the University of Memphis on a basketball scholarship, he was arrested at his home in Hamul. This after an argument with guests being asked to leave his home in March of last year. According to the San Diego County Sheriff's Department, 6 people were driving away in a car when shots were fired. The car was hit by the bullets, but nobody was injured. Williams was arrested in April of last year and initially faced 9 felony counts. But just 2 weeks before a jury trial was set to begin, Williams took a plea deal, dropping it to just 1 count of making a criminal threat. After pleading guilty, he was ordered to complete anger management and gun safety courses, along with 80 hours of community service by his sentencing on Monday. That led to his charge being reduced to a misdemeanor. His attorney crediting the district attorney's office.
They took an understanding. They wanted to look at it to understand who Mikey Williams is, who he was before this incident, and the types of things he's done, and the quality and the character of this young man.
Williams is now on summary probation for a year, the lowest form of probation, and has a 10-year gun restriction placed on his record.
All it really means is that he's, to live an upstanding life as he has always done already, and to violate no laws, again excluding minor traffic occasions or infractions for the next year, and then after that, he'll be off for probation.
Williams' attorney says he withdrew from the University of Memphis, and next week he'll start as a freshman at the University of Central Florida, playing basketball and going to class.
He is
Reporting
lucky.
from downtown.
Holy shit, is he lucky. He better not mess that up. I'm choking on my water. Oh, I hate that. Oh. So Smith County District Clerk jailed.
County District Clerk Penny Clarkston walked out of court today in handcuffs as her employees wiped away tears after seeing their boss found in civil contempt of court by Judge Austin Reeve Jackson.
She holds the key to the jail. As soon as she complies with the order, she will be released.
The order referred to demanded Clarkston provide the court with information requested of them from the Office of Capital and Forensic Writs, a Texas public defender office. In a letter dated May 20th, the office requested information regarding juries in Smith County.
Basically, the gist of the letter was, I would like to know everything there is to know about how juries were picked and selected in Smith County.
In court, Judge Jackson said while Clarkston had provided the information to other parties, she had chosen willfully to withhold it from the court.
If this information is not timely provided, do you know who is held in contempt? Do you know who goes to jail? Do you know who pays any fines? The local administrative judge, me. Now what you're asking for me to do is to step aside and allow this case to continue to languish while this court is ultimately held responsible for the incompetence and inaction of the district clerk. This court will not tolerate that. This court will not abide that. This court is not going to engage in that.
Defense attorney Thad Davidson believes the court's true goal is to have Clarkston removed from office.
The hearing itself was short, swift, and brutal, and one-sided against us.
In court, Davidson took issue with the amount of time he and Clarkston were given to prepare.
Well, you served her on Tuesday and you want to have a hearing on Thursday, and that's not due process. I want her to have notice and due process and 10 days to get prepared, which is what the rules enable.
Following Clarkston's arrest, Davidson himself took a flash drive containing what he believed to be was the information requested to the court's office. Later in the afternoon, the judge ordered Clarkston be released from jail just after 2:30. But before the court ever took up the case that ultimately landed Clarkston in jail, they heard two other cases in which she's accused of failing to update records.
Well, our client went on deferred adjudication probation, did outstanding on it. The probation was early terminated. In that early termination of probation, when that's filed, the court will actually dismiss the case because the probation is being terminated. And with deferred, when the case is dismissed, then you have no final conviction.
In court, attorney Matt Bingham revealed a string of correspondences in which his office tried to resolve the issue with the clerk's office beginning in January.
Our client, even as recent as a couple days ago, has missed out on employment because the records, we believe, are still not reflective of the fact the case has been dismissed.
The court also heard from Candace Lackey about a similar situation.
I waited almost a year. I didn't even know. So when I went to go get a good job, that I was denied employment. I've been denied housing before, trying to get, I have a special needs child. So I was denied. I haven't been able to move on with my life.
And Judge Jackson says these cases are not the only ones.
We have had numerous citizens call us and tell us that they are being denied jobs. They are potentially being also denied employment opportunities, housing opportunities, potentially access to children because of faulty criminal records. This is a horrendous and horrific problem facing the citizens of this community with whom the Smith County criminal justice system contracts and enters into an agreement telling them if you abide by the conditions set by the court, your case will ultimately be dismissed, and that's not happening again in hundreds of cases.
Now, the two cases mentioned at the end of that story are now being forwarded to the area's administrative judge. Penny Clarkston was first elected as Smith County District Clerk back in 2018.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's definitely not good. And that her employees were supporting her too. They were crying in court. Let's see. Another case where somebody gets a lot of time. A teen carjacker shot a woman in Alamo Heights, was sentenced to 45 years.
Today, I assess punishment of 45 years confinement.
Julio Cesar Rivera was led out of district court today to a decades-long future in prison. The woman he shot in the face during an attempted November 2021 carjacking says she's satisfied.
As soon as they said that it was 45 years, I just started crying because it's not just for me, it's for the other victims as well.
Rivera was accused in a slew of armed carjackings, 5 in all, including his final failed robbery of Alana Castaneda. He pleaded guilty in 3 cases, including hers, which lowered his possible prison sentence.
It's not justifying what I did. Nothing's going to make it sound okay, because it's not.
According to separate federal court records, Rivera told police a friend had asked him about stealing a car to be used for human smuggling. His family asked for leniency, saying Rivera had grown up without his biological mother and had fallen in with bad people.
So I appreciate that his parents might think he was put up to it. But these were his choices. These were his decisions. This was his gun.
Ahead of his sentencing, Rivera apologized directly to Castaneda.
I got a lot of time to sit here and think about what I've done. I'm not the same person I was 2 years ago. And I pray every day for forgiveness and just for being good health.
Being face-to-face with Rivera again was hard, said Castaneda, who's already endured 3 surgeries, with a 4th to come, and bears permanent scars from the violent encounter.
Yes, I was listening to him, but at the same time, it's you did what you did.
Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Keep up to date.
Wow, she's healed pretty well for being shot in the face. Holy crap. And again, another long sentence for not murder. I thought that he killed her to get 45 years. And speaking of long sentences, a child molester got sentenced to 70. So let's watch that. I love that.
With that said, this court has thought a lot about this case, having sat through the entirety of the trial, witnessed the video evidence in this case. The court is prepared to impose sentence. Mr. Shoemaker, is there any legal reason why this court cannot impose sentence at this time? Mr. Guadalupe, having been found guilty of 12 counts for lewd, lascivious molestation by a person 18 years of age with order on a victim less than 12 years of age. On each of those 12 counts, you are adjudicated guilty. You are sentenced to serve 70 years in Florida State Prison, followed by lifetime sex offender probation. As to the 1 count of the lesser included attempted lewd, lascivious molestation, you are adjudicated guilty and sentenced to 15 years in Florida State Prison. And as to the 3 counts of unlawful or lascivious act, you are adjudicated guilty and sentenced to time served. All sentences are to run concurrently with each other. Clerk, please impose the standard felony court costs. Is the state requesting $100 in cost of prosecution?
Yes, sir.
Objection to that, or will impose $100 for cost of prosecution. How much credit time does he have now?
753.
753 days credit on each count. Additionally, I believe pursuant to Florida statute, he must be designated as a sexual predator, correct?
That's correct. I provided an order to the clerk.
Any objection to that or wish to be heard? The court does find declare that Mr. Guadalupe is a sexual predator. I'll sign that order. Mr. Guadalupe, you have 30 days to appeal the legality of this court sentence. If you wish to appeal but cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Anything else from the state?
No, sir.
Anything else from the mayor? Court is adjourned.
70 years. Good. Good. 70 years for that, absolutely. Yeah, he deserves, and hopefully somebody in prison doesn't like what he did. All right, so I have a couple more videos and then I'm going to move on to some happier stuff. So, California has new laws cracking down on retail theft. Shoplifting and retail thefts have been huge problem in everywhere. But I know that some states aren't even arresting shoplifters. So it's been a huge problem, and it's causing some stores to close down. There's areas in Chicago that lost Walmarts because of this.
An all too familiar scene playing out on surveillance cameras across California. Smash and grabs, where brazen, organized groups of thieves invade a business, destroying protective casings to steal high-value goods and selling them for a profit. Just late last week, 3 7-Eleven stores in Hollywood hit just minutes apart. But now California is taking action. That same day, Governor Gavin Newsom signing a new set of laws taking effect this weekend, cracking down on retail and car thefts.
They will address the challenges that are well outside the purview of previous initiatives and laws.
This legislation allows stores to file temporary restraining orders against repeat shoplifters, requires online marketplaces to collect data from sellers to discourage the resale of stolen items, and allows law enforcement to combine the dollar amount of thefts from several victims to impose harsher penalties.
Do you see other states kind of adopting similar laws?
Oh, you've absolutely got a movement across the U.S.
Carl Langhorst is a retail theft expert who says this could be a game changer.
You've seen communities start to come together and understand we've got to hold these offenders accountable. That could be jail, but quite often it could be also needed drug rehab or mental counseling.
A crackdown on crime, hoping to solve a crisis playing out in communities across the country. Dana Griffin, NBC News.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or follow us on social.
Sorry, my mouse. Like, I don't really see what a restraining order is going to do, but because they follow the law, apparently, you know. All right, so still in LA, a man ripped from his car and beaten by a mob. That's terrifying.
Dramatic and scary scenes in downtown LA caught on video after a man claims he was ripped out of his car by a mob.
Now, the victim says he was beaten and robbed right in broad daylight. Take a look. The attack left the victim with a broken leg, his car vandalized.
KTLA's Carlos Acedo joins us in studio now with details on the brutal attack and also reaction from the victim. Carlos.
Rick Kareem, good evening. A mob attack on the streets of LA. Part of the brutal beatdown caught on camera. The victim on the receiving end could be heard asking for help. The person recording in disbelief about what he was witnessing.
This is what LA has come to, dog. I'm not even playing, dog. I literally just parked, bro, right over there. Man, these kids are wildin', bro. They're not even older than 20, dog.
Complete mayhem on a downtown LA street as a group of teens target this vehicle and the driver.
Come on, man. Yo, man, hey, I'm sorry. I don't know these people. I just parked right there, bro.
Are you okay, sir?
The driver, Shiloh Beck Bazarbai Ulu, can be heard telling the man recording to call police. He was left limping after being brutally attacked. His car ransacked and left badly damaged.
They were destroying my car, and oh my God, it was like a nightmare.
Shiloh Beck says he feared for his life, confused about what was unfolding. The attack happened the evening of August 2nd as he was stopped at a red light on Olympic and Hope. A group of teens on bicycles pulled up in front of his vehicle, and when the light turned green, he says he attempted to pass them up.
When I was passing, so one of them threw out a bottle of water, like, into my car.
As he pulled over and got out of his car, he says the group of roughly 30 teenagers surrounded him, and things turned physical. He sustained a broken leg and deep cuts and bruises throughout his body after being punched and kicked while on the ground.
And suddenly someone pulled me out, and she just literally saved my life. And it was a young lady, and she just took me aside, she just hugged me.
Shiloh Beck says the teens made off with personal belongings he had in his car as he was planning on moving. They took backpacks and his wallet, including credit cards and cash.
It's been a week and no one has been arrested.
Now, Shiloh Beck started a GoFundMe page as he recovers from his injuries. The victim says he did nothing to provoke the attack, but in the video we hear the teens claim he cut them off, almost hitting them. The LAPD is investigating but have not made any arrests.
Christ, these mobs of children are terrifying. See a bunch of teenagers, I'm gonna run away. So a safety tip, I'm not going to play the whole video, but you can blur your...
New at 6 o'clock, a possible tech solution for people.
Yeah. What the
People
hell?
trying to protect their properties from thieves looking to strike. Many criminals are using technology to plan their break-in.
Eyewitness News reporter Rob McMillan talks with experts and shows us the simple way you can hide your home.
Yeah, so they're taking too long to explain it. You can blur your house on Google Maps. So because when you look at the map, you can see where to break in and all that stuff. So if you're worried about that, definitely go to Google Maps and blur your home. That's something that I definitely would like to do. So this video is, the next video is ridiculous.
And the truth is out there, and doorbell company Ring wants you to help find it. They're giving away $1 million to whoever can capture evidence of extraterrestrial life on your Ring camera. That's a lot of money. All right, if you're not a believer, that's okay. Whoever can create the best fake alien video like this one can win a $500 Amazon gift card.
Political debates between neighbors can get testy. Just ask Justice Alito's wife. But
I was muted. So you can get $1 million if you can find evidence of aliens on your Ring camera. So all the more reason to have more Ring cameras. I just have a couple more videos and then I'm going to be done for today. So yeah, dueling political signs with dogs.
two neighbors in Arvada are having some fun with this season of competing yard signs.
We know that this election year is kind of anxious for all of us. So we came up with the idea of just making our neighbors walk by and smile.
And that's Molly over there. We're just going to say hi.
Plus it has a dog on it, so you know, you can't beat that.
We had the opportunity to lighten things up, and so we went for it. Good girl, Molly.
And this is Molly Kaufman. She's running for president. And we happen to have a dog next door that is also running for president.
This is our beloved dog, Chloe. She like trances out on the ball. She looks insane right now.
She's always been the one that corrals all the other dogs at the dog park. So I knew she had kind of a head for politics and leadership.
They've lived next door to each other for years and they respect each other's views.
Her stance is anti-squirrel. She just wants more treats for everyone in the community.
She's older, she's wiser. Chloe, she's wandering off.
Even though the election year can be a little anxious for us, it's good to remember that, you know, you just have to keep everything in perspective and still be kind to your neighbor, and that's what's really most important.
Okay, get your ball.
I need one of those. I need somebody help me make one of those signs so I can get one for my dog. So speaking of dogs, a dog was deemed too friendly for police work. But before we get there, I already spoke about that. There was an 11-year-old that got charged with multiple felonies related to calling in bomb threats and school shooting, school threats. So another thing, talk to your kids.
At just 11 years old, a boy from Henrico County is being called an online terrorist after investigators in Florida traced more than 20 school threats to his home here in Central Virginia. 8 News reporter Sierra Krug joining us now live in the Digital Center. And Sierra, what did investigators learn after speaking with the young boy?
Well, Eric, according to the Flagler County Sheriff's Office, the 11-year-old seemed to be more proud of himself than remorseful. They say his family told officials they had noticed the young kid was constantly online, and prior to his arrest, they had become increasingly concerned with his behavior, yet nothing was done to intervene.
Don't let his age fool you. He's a smart and dangerous kid.
SWAT teams, forced lockdown, and mass hysteria. That's the type of chaotic scene Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley says a Henrico child caused more than 20 times at schools like this one.
And you're about to learn he's done a lot more.
Tracing similar bomb and shooting threats to Alaska, Maryland, Alabama, and beyond.
Even if he's only 11 years old, he's an online terrorist predator.
Here's a clip from one of those calls.
I just shot my teacher in the head.
Officials launched a 10-week investigation into this Central Virginia kid's online activity, analyzing his devices and speaking with the boy and his family.
He was actually more proud of himself from what my detectives have told me.
They say the child showed a disturbing interest in content online, like animals being tortured and killed, adding he had a criminal history that would be chilling enough if it were a middle-aged man, let alone an 11-year-old boy.
I can tell you is he's a very smart kid. He's an articulate kid. And some of the things that we have recovered and have seen, he's a very violent kid or has violent tendencies.
We're told he admitted to a slew of crimes like sexual cyber harassment, accepting cryptocurrency from strangers to make swatting calls, and sextorting other minors. Staley urges parents to monitor what their child is up to online.
He didn't get the intervention that should have occurred.
The Henrico County Commonwealth's Attorney's Office says they can't comment on the status of this case given the child's age. He is currently being held in a juvenile facility here in Virginia and is facing 43 charges, 29 of which are felonies.
Yeah, you got to monitor what the hell your kids are doing. Like, that, it's terrifying. Absolutely. What is he going to be like as an adult? Is he going to be a future serial killer? I really hope that this kid is like monitored. Like, he needs to be, if anybody needs to be in the system, it's that kid. So my last video for this morning is going to be another dog video. And it is a dog that was deemed too friendly to be in police work. But it looks like a lab, so I mean, I don't know what they expected.
From the get-go, Roger never lacked enthusiasm on the job. Not even when it got him fired from the narcotics squad at age 1 for being the drug-sniffing dog that was too happy. Basically, he wanted to play all the time. Everyone has a different definition of what makes a good dog, says trainer John Lee, who recruited Roger's positive energy for search and rescue work. That first setback unleashed Roger on a whole new career path. Now at age 8, he's a search and rescue legend and local hero, and always up for a task. So here's a test. I'm going to climb into this hole to see if Roger can find me. Thank you. Thank you. What a good boy.
Roger.
Roger was called to duty earlier this year when a deadly 7.4 magnitude earthquake hit eastern Taiwan. For days, Roger and his teammates, including a terrier named Wilson, sniffed and clawed at rubble in the mountains to find victims trapped by landslides. He showed no fear or reluctance, he says. He's truly an outstanding search and rescue dog. Roger really leapt to fame after his chomp on reporters' microphones went viral. Then he shredded the toy given to him by the local mayor. Soon the tale of Roger the dog was all over the internet. Kaohsiung's fire department has 11 search and rescue dogs here, most of them young and still in training.
Some dogs need maybe 2 or 3 years, and some dogs need 5 years.
It makes Roger a veteran, and according to fire department age rules, he's getting ready for retirement.
Roger!
After 7 missions over his career, defying all that stuff about old dogs and new tricks, and always ready for a reward.
How long should I let him bark?
$10.
10 barks.
Yeah.
10 barks gets a treat. Ah, good boy. Good boy. The life of a search and rescue dog is hard work, and Roger is going to retire later this year. He'll be adopted by a family, trade the rubble for a well-deserved lawn somewhere, and we can all agree he is a very good boy.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you, Janice.
Oh.
He found his purpose.
Yes,
It may not have been a canine, but in another way.
Yeah. Really sweet.
Thank you, Janice.
Hey, thanks for.
Yes, thank you, Janice. It was a cute dog. And I am glad that that is what I end today on. Well, the sun is up now, so the lighting in here is better. Oh, my dog is stretching. She's ready for me to get up too. I hope everybody has a beautiful day. Let me see if anybody is streaming this morning. Hello, Michi. No, there's so much stuff there, Michi. You don't want to go there. Let's see. Why is it not showing me live? Let's see. Live. Other than myself. It looks like Jay is on right now. If you guys want to go hang out with Jay, I'll put the link in there. I think most of you know who that is. I think Brandy's going to be streaming later today. Yeah, here's the link to Jay's chat. And I am planning to be back on Thursday. So I will see you guys Thursday morning. I love you all. Have a beautiful rest of your day. And I appreciate you all joining me so early in the morning. And yeah, bye y'all.